para mim tão bom como ver um desodorizante bacalhau.
O quê?
Pá, eu não sei, tenho essa aversão. Não sei,
Ok,
não experimentaria. Se tivesse,
Ok.
é o que eu estou a dizer, só isso.
É um grande músico, mas hoje em dia não é aquilo que eu gosto de ouvir.
Hoje em dia?
Não, as músicas anteriores eram... Ok,
Ok,
isto não-
quando eu era miúdo eu cantava uma ou duas.
Yeah.
Pronto, vou dizer isso. Ok?
Os meus pais adoram. Tu eras aquela...
Ok. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Bastercast.
Hello.
Hello, yes.
Hello.
We are here. We're going to try something new. We're actually going to do a good show today.
Yeah, the final episode of season 1.
That's right. And I hear there's either, I don't know if it's firecrackers or shotguns, but everybody seems very lively here in the studio today. So, I'm Antonio.
I'm Bruno.
And that's about it. So, see you later, everybody. Now, if you watch this, if you listened to us yesterday, you know that we're going to do these 2 episodes on TV series that got canceled. If you didn't listen to yesterday's podcast, go back and listen because there are a lot of pearls there, a lot of gems from the TV world that you might want to check out. And we left you on a cliffhanger, so let's just get this shit out of the way. Today's show is going to be about movies that were either never made or canceled for some reason, or just outright the worst movies ever made, which is probably one of the... This first entry is probably going in that list wherever you are in the world.
Okay, lay it on me.
I will. So let's do this again. Like a Band-Aid, really quick. Highlander the Source. All right. I'll have to clean that later. But anyway, so why is Highlander the Source the bridge between yesterday's topic and today, you ask me?
Why is that?
Okay. I'll tell you since you put it so eloquently. Highlander the Source is the first Highlander film in the franchise, get this, not to be released in American theaters. What? What?
Such high quality product?
What are you telling me here? That there are actually people with brains making these decisions? What? No.
So what was the intent?
No, the intent was to go into theaters, but for some benevolent reason, I guess, for those living in the U.S., it wasn't played in American theaters. But guess where I watched it?
In a Portuguese
theater. In a Portuguese movie theater, yes.
So what you're saying? It was they decided that after
the movie was made.
Okay,
yes.
Okay.
So it was instead shown on the Sci-Fi Channel on September 15, 2007. Now, here's where I want to get to. So it was supposed to be a movie for movie theaters, but it went into a TV series, channel. So that's the bridge. But let me get to the good part. The critical reaction to Highlander, Highlander the Source, was universally negative. Dun, dun, dun. Who'd have saw that coming? Did you see that coming? Jesus Christ. If you haven't heard about this movie, go back to the previous podcast. We talk a lot about this. So this tumor in the Highlander franchise. So let's get into the good part, the meat and bones of the issue. It was shown in 2007 in the Sci-Fi Channel, where I had to watch it in the movie theater. I actually paid to watch this shit. But here's what Christopher Monfett, I'm probably butchering this, but of IGN, he what he had to say and what his overall experience was. So he gave the Highlander the Source a score of 1 out of 10.
That doesn't surprise me.
No, I'm surprised at how he got a 1. How it got to 1.
Yeah.
That's a high number for the Source. And he said, the worthwhile days of Connor MacLeod, it appeared, are officially over. Dead, decapitated, and depleted of their power. The struggle for an immortal to move through life unchallenged has since mutated into an awkward arrangement of mismatched mythologies, TV to movie crossovers, and a steady stream of low-budget direct-to-DVD cash cows, which may in the end prove to be the only truly immortal thing about this series.
Wow.
Ta-da!
Wow.
This was the best review I found.
Wow.
I had 4 more reviews. This was the best one.
Shit, and that ended up in Sci-Fi? Sci-Fi
Listen,
Channel.
have you watched Sci-Fi
Yeah,
Channel?
I've seen some movies.
They're
some
not really famous for their high quality products.
2.0 on IMDb. Some movies,
like,
yeah.
I know, but listen,
Yeah.
most of those movies are crap, but they're entertaining. You watch Sharknado, you're not expecting Oscar material.
No.
You're expecting to have fun. You can actually make fun of that shit.
I couldn't have
with
fun
Highlander,
with
the Source.
Yeah.
Not the case.
I
So
was suffering.
here's what Brian Orndorff of Orndorff. What? Can you people please find me people that have easily spoken last names? Thank you. Jesus. Okay, so Brian Orndorff of DVD Talk gave the film 1/2 star out of 5. So basically 1 out of 10, half out of 5, same rating. Okay. And here's what he had to say. The Source is nothing less than a parody of what has come before. If you've seen the previous sequels, you already know that's saying something. There is some relief that this franchise will finally be put out of its misery, because nobody in their right mind would try to keep this series going after watching just how boneheaded Highlander the Source is.
It's terrible. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
surprised. How does this movie get made? It's not like I'm not talking about censorship. Do whatever you want.
Yeah. No. Exactly. But
Who put money up for this?
fuck.
Okay, you ready for the next review?
Yeah.
Okay, Danielle Griffin of Film as Art gave The Source 1/2 star out of 4, remarking that it's bad, cheesily bad, colossally bad, monumentally bad, bad enough to make you never want to watch another movie again bad. You know,
I felt completely drained after you showed me the movie.
I know, I did too.
I was sad. I was.
It was a good day for therapists.
No, I was just a sack without life. You know.
I know.
Yeah.
It was just a meat sack without the meat.
Yeah. But it actually drained me.
I know. It was a really good day for therapists all around the world.
And I didn't pay like you.
You didn't what?
I didn't pay.
No.
You
saw it at my place. Yes, I remember that fateful night when we all jumped out of the balcony, almost jumped out of the balcony. And Keith Breeze.
Breeze?
I don't know. Listen. It's Breeze with an S. Of filmcritic.com. Give the film 1 star out of 5. Hey Keith, what the fuck, man? You're being way too generous here. And he said, not only will Highlander fans be disappointed by the film's nosedive into nonsense, but the average viewer will be stunned by the backyard quality of this film. The acting is uniformly terrible, the special effects are hideous, the sets are cheap and grubby, and the direction is uninspired. The film is an utter failure. Surely this is the final nail in the coffin lid for this film series. If it isn't, then something is truly wrong with the universe. Man, this was actually, I don't know. I think this is gratifying to know that our sentiment is echoed throughout so many film critics, which is, we have to say, it's rare.
It's really rare, but with this movie, man.
With this movie, I mean, I'm glad to see that everybody's on board here. I'm sorry, what's his name? Paul? The main actor, Adrian Paul. Adrian Paul. I'm really sorry. I was a fan of the series. This is just a fucked up thing to do.
I'm still a fan of Adrian Paul in the series. I'm still a fan.
Yeah, of course.
And well, not so much that movie with him and Christopher Lambert.
Yeah,
that movie. So, but way better.
If you compare it to The Source, it's fucking Shakespeare. Okay, so the sci-fi movie page gave The Source 1.5 stars out of 5. Listen, get off whatever you're eating or drinking or smoking. This is not a 1.5 star movie. But then they said, just when you think that this is a franchise that can't sink any lower, along comes Highlander the Source. One gets the impression that The Source was filmed with theatrical distribution in mind, but that no sane cinema, and I repeat, no sane cinema distributor would touch it with a 10-foot barge pole. Good for them. Instead, it went straight to the Sci-Fi Channel and on the DVD shelves where you should let it stay, collecting dust. But here in Portugal...
where did you see it? In Nós?
Yeah,
or
in the old Nós, Zon, or whatever it was in 2007. I went to the premiere
that's
of it.
one of the main networks in...
the main distributors in Portugal. Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where I watched it. Jesus. I don't know, man.
No, you could have seen it in a shady cinema or something like that.
No. Listen, for those who don't know, our shady cinemas in Portugal actually have good movies, cult movies, old movies, classical movies. This is not the case at all. At all. If you watch The Highlander the Source, please join us in the comments below. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever. Send us an email telling us what you thought of it, because I really want to know if there's anybody out there that actually can say good things about this movie.
If you didn't see it, please do see it now, okay?
Yeah. It's worth your while.
Yeah, especially...
If you want a story to tell around the campfire, when you go out camping with the kids and have a scary story to tell,
just watch the movie. It's an experience.
It's a thrill ride of shit,
but never be the same again. So
never. That's our guarantee. You know, that's actually what should say on the box. You will never be the same again. All right, so let's move on to another detour. Well, not a detour, but a segue. Anyway, let's move on to another perspective on this topic of movies that were canceled, never made, or whatever. So here's a couple of lists that I found of projects that were unrealized by known directors. And let's start with one of our favorite directors of all time,
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Yeah,
right.
Superman, right?
Well, I didn't put Superman Lives on this list because that's an obvious go-to.
Yeah.
But if you want to know about Superman Lives, I
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage was supposed to play Superman. And I wholeheartedly recommend a great documentary called The Death of Superman Lives. Have you watched this?
That's a thing?
That's a thing. There's an actually documentary.
Okay.
He actually interviewed, along with many other people, Tim Burton about this.
Okay.
So it's a really good collage of events, and the creator of The Death of Superman Lives is, he went to town with this. He was apparently if we as Tim Burton fans are sad that we never got to see that movie, that guy was super excited about the possibility.
Okay.
So that's what shines through, and actually breathes new life into the nostalgia of what it could have been. Right?
Okay.
Anyway, actually, Tim Burton was one of the directors approached to direct Jurassic Park.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Can you imagine that?
No, I cannot imagine.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess
again, with all the trademarks from
Jurassic Park?
No, from Tim Burton. I don't see that happening,
I don't know, man. Can you imagine like a stop motion, like a Nightmare Before Christmas style stop motion?
I would see that.
I would too. Yeah, I would.
Maybe I would rather see that than the last one.
Than the last two.
Yeah, especially the last one.
Jesus.
Yeah, last two, but the last one was.
Talk about
even
offensive,
worse.
dude. I'm sorry. I don't care. Listen, I'm a big believer. Oh, believer is a strong word. I'm a big proponent of the multiverse theory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of, I'm talking about quantum physics here.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I fail to imagine an alternate reality where any woman is able to run away from a Tyrannosaurus Rex on high heels. I'm sorry.
No, that's just...
I'm sorry. If Ian Malcolm couldn't do it, you can't fucking do it on high heels. I'm sorry. You just can't.
That's true.
Go fuck yourself if you think otherwise. Anyway, Jurassic Park. Before Michael Crichton's novel was even published, the Jurassic Park first one, Hollywood studios were already highly interested in purchasing the film rights. So this included Warner Brothers and Tim Burton, as well as Sony Pictures Entertainment and Richard Donner and 20th Century Fox.
Richard Donner as a...
He was interested...
Possibly...
Yeah. So these are the people that were interested in buying the film rights.
And no Steven Spielberg. back then.
Well, Universal Pictures acquired the rights in May of 1990 for Steven Spielberg, which then resulted in the 1993 film adaptation. 1993, man, 26 years old. That movie is. Jeez, it's been that long.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Tim Burton's unrealized project, here's another one, Catwoman. I learned a lot in this research.
As a spin-off from Batman Returns or something like that with Tim Burton?
I wouldn't call it a spin-off, but it was actually
a sequel.
Well, it was kind of a sequel to the movie.
Well, inside the universe.
Yeah, but it was focused on Catwoman.
Was it supposed to be with
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Oh,
she was reprising the role. Yeah. So after here's a brief synopsis. After the traumas of Batman Returns, she has amnesia. So Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman has amnesia, and she doesn't really remember why she has all these bullet holes in her body. So she goes to relax in Oasisburg. I don't know this place, Oasisburg. What Gotham City is to New York City, Oasisburg is to Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Palm Springs. So it's a resort area in the middle of the desert. It's run by superheroes, and the movie has great fun at making fun at the whole male superhero mythos. Then they end up by being not very good at all deep down, and she's got to go back to the whole Catwoman thing. Okay, so this was kind of the premise of the movie. So this was Daniel Waters on his script for Catwoman back then. Mm-hmm. And what else can I tell you about this? I can tell you that Batman Returns would be the last film in the Warner Brothers Batman film series that featured Burton and Michael Keaton as director and leading actor, respectively. So with Batman Forever, Warner Brothers decided to go in a lighter direction to more mainstream in the process and more akin to a family film. So Burton then had no interest in returning to direct a sequel because of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But he was still credited, as you know,
a producer
in Forever.
Yeah.
So that's basically the end of Catwoman.
Do you think it would be better than the Halle Berry's?
Of course, it would. How could it not be?
It was by Pitoff, right? The director?
I can't...
Pitoff?
Something
was it? Like that?
No, man.
Really?
Was it Pitoff?
I think it was Pitoff.
Wasn't it?
Wasn't it
Pitoff?
the director of the... Maybe Pitoff?
I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, you're really in a doubt when you start speaking in falsetto. Let me just look this up, because I thought it was directed by... God damn it, I'm having a blank. What's the director of Fifth Sense?
No, it wasn't him.
Oh, man, I'm getting him. What a blank. Anyway, you're right. The director was Pitoff. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Okay, so, yeah, it would have been better than Catwoman. Pitoff's Catwoman. I have no doubt. I have no fucking doubt. But anyway, did you know another actress that was approached for the role? Michelle Pfeiffer, I think.
For that movie.
For the Catwoman
For the
sequel.
Catwoman, yeah, sequel.
Way before the Halle Berry thing.
Yeah.
So Michelle Pfeiffer was becoming a mother, and she devoted herself to being a mother, and so she was actually replaced then by Ashley Judd. Back then, I'm not sure it would have been a bad idea. So here's another by Tim Burton that was unfulfilled, and I would have loved to watch this. It was supposed to... It's a TV series, so this is another bridge between yesterday and today. Yesterday we talked about TV series. Today we're supposed to be talking about movies, but Tim Burton is a movie director. He was actually slated or considered... it was actually one of his projects. So to do a TV series called Lost in Oz.
Oh. Okay.
So a TV series based in The Wizard of Oz, the setting of Oz, and Lost in Oz.
But
it would be a television series based on L. Frank Baum's The Wizard of Oz book series, and Burton would be its executive producer. So a pilot episode was filmed in 2000, but the series became unproduced due to budget constraints. So imagine Tim Burton's view on Oz. Yeah. It would have been amazing.
I would see that.
Especially in the late 2000s, in the early 2000s, and late 90s.
All the Oz universe, it's not something I care about.
Not the latest movie with James Franco.
No. All of the universe, it's not for me. You know.
Okay.
But
I like the fantasy.
I would see a take on
a Tim Burton take on Oz. Yeah. I can totally see that happening. Yeah. I can't even imagine that. Why wouldn't somebody? I mean, in the late 90s, the guy was king.
Dude,
well,
you saw
this was
something
after Planet of the Apes, though.
Yeah,
so,
you saw
I don't
something
know.
like that in
Alice in Wonderland.
Exactly.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm not talking about that Tim Burton. I didn't like that Tim Burton.
So that's.
I think that Tim Burton needs
if
to
he would do something
a
like
long
that,
nap.
no.
No, please go and take a long sleep. Think about your life. And
No,
then-
I'm still waiting for him to wake the fuck up.
Yeah, again, right?
Again,
Go back to what he
because-
used to do. Listen, Big Fish, I think, was the last great movie by Tim Burton.
For me, it's a really special movie for him, but it's not one of my favorites.
No, of course it's
at
not.
all.
Well, it's not. It's not one. It's not blatantly Tim Burton universe. You know, it's kind of a. It's bridging a
it
lot.
has all the trademarks, but
I love that movie as a movie. Not just if you were going to watch a Tim Burton movie, that's probably an unexpected thing to watch.
Yeah,
but it's a good movie.
yeah,
I think it is. Great job. I watched it recently again, and I'm still amazed by that. 2003 or 4, I think. Anyway, another one would be the long talked about or rumored Nightmare Before Christmas sequel that has been back and forth. I mean, he said, this is a quote from him. So this is Burton's take on his own Nightmare Before Christmas. I was always very protective of Nightmare, not to do sequels or things of that kind. So he said, Jack visits Thanksgiving World or other kinds of things that just because I felt the movie had a purity to it and the people that like it. So yeah, I agree. I agree completely. Just leave it as it is.
Yeah.
However, in 2009, Selick, who was actually the director of The Nightmare Before Christmas, he would do a film sequel if he and Burton could create a good story for it. In February 2019, it was reported that the new Nightmare Before Christmas film was in the works, with Disney considering either a stop-motion sequel or, dun dun dun, grab your knives, everybody, a live-action remake. Can you imagine
live-action
a
remake?
Disney
A CGI.
live-action remake?
A CGI,
Just
like all of this shit
CGI?
that. No, what do we call Lion King?
Oh, Lion King, yes, but
It's
look
CGI.
look at Beauty and the Beast. That's not CGI. I mean, it's live
There's
action
a lot
and
of
has
CGI.
a lot of
It's
CGI.
yeah.
It would have been live action with a lot of CGI, definitely. As these fucking shitty movies. Did you even try to watch Aladdin?
I've seen the beginning and I just left.
Yeah. I watched when Will Smith starts singing in that boat. I started skipping 2 minutes ahead. Then I saw Aladdin.
Yeah.
The first moment when he speaks in the market, I just said "fuck this" and went about the rest of my life.
They're going to do now it's already done, I think. Mulan,
yeah.
the live version of
I know,
Mulan,
I know.
and I think there's something
I
with
saw
the
the
dragon,
trailer.
without the dragon because it's offensive or something like that.
I don't fucking know. I
Come
don't
on,
care.
no one's asking for these movies.
Yeah, that's right.
No one.
Amen, brother. Amen.
So why don't they focus in doing
Creating new stuff.
new stuff?
We
Come
actually
on, really.
again, this is a good ending to this first season of the Bastercast because we're touching on topics that we already discussed before. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the Bastercast playlist and look for Creativity in Decline.
Yeah, exactly.
We hark on this a lot in that episode. So everything we have to say about lack of creativity in Hollywood and
It's
Disney
there.
as well, it's all there, you motherfuckers. You can just do original material like you used to, bitches. Anyway, this is the point of view of fans. We used to be fucking fans of these franchises like Star Wars and the Disney
movies. And Tim
a
Burton,
friend of mine just went to
everything.
Disneyland Paris recently, and he was amazed. He did not expect to love it so much. That's what I mean. Disney has a lot to offer, not these piece of shit movies that just go on and on about nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's another one by Tim Burton. Another unrealized project that I would have totally fucking watched. Addams Family stop-motion animated film.
That I would watch.
Tim Burton doing an Addams
I would
Family
watch.
stop animation. God damn it!
But with the actors back then, with the same. I know, giving voice.
I mean, voice acting.
Yeah, voice acting. But
I wouldn't make that a demand. It would be cool.
It would be cool.
Although
not
Raul
a demand,
Julia,
but
you couldn't have Raul Julia because he died.
When that movie was in the works.
This was actually announced in 2010.
Okay.
So in 2010, it was announced.
Okay. I thought it was previously.
That Illumination Entertainment, in partnership with Universal Pictures, had acquired the underlying rights to the Addams Family drawings. The film was planned to be a stop-motion animated film based on Charles Addams' original drawings, which is great. So Burton was set to co-write, co-produce, and probably direct. In 2013, however, it was reported that the film was canceled. So that's a shame.
That's a shame.
It is. I would have totally watched that movie. What about you guys? You listening out there? What would you say to a Tim Burton stop-motion animated Addams Family? I think it would have been fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you want to talk about the Wachowskis and their unrealized project?
What's the unrealized? Because I know that's going to be a Matrix on the works, but what's the unrealized project?
There's a Matrix in the works, I know. I
think
think it's Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss that are actually helming the thing. I'm not sure if they're going to direct.
There's not a passing of the torch of anything, because that movie doesn't ask for that.
No.
At all.
No. The Matrix did not ask for anything
anything else but the first movie.
Especially, wait a minute. I'm a big fan of Animatrix. The Animatrix short films are really good. No, that trilogy should never have been that trilogy. The first movie is good on its own. Everybody wanted a sequel. Either leave it at that or make a sequel that actually lives up to the original.
Exactly.
The other two movies, pieces of shit. No story, nothing. There's nothing there that makes it the cult movie like the first one did. The first one is a cult movie on its own. It didn't need anything else. That's it. Yeah. But if you're gonna actually make it and just just milk the cash cow,
the ending of the movie was
it's horrible. That's not a conclusion to what you were expected the first one to be. But anyway,
so what's the
so the Wachowskis. Actually, in 2000, Variety reported that the Wachowskis were working with Warner Brothers to make a film reboot of Conan the Barbarian.
Well, probably it would be better than the
Destroyer.
The Destroyer.
Oh no, you're talking about the Jason Momoa Conan. Yeah. His name is. I just remember that trailer when that woman comes on. I didn't even watch the movie. I listened to the trailer on the radio. Yes. Yeah. That still happens. And I listened to the trailer on the radio, and I just heard that moment when the woman's voice comes in and says, "His name is Conan." I just switched channels. I just switched channels.
Yeah, but I don't know. Was it going to be with Schwarzenegger?
Schwarzenegger? I think so. Yes, me thinks.
So
but
yes.
I am not entirely sure. You know, he actually did a couple of good action movies lately. I don't remember the title, but there was this movie where he was the head of a team of mercenaries. That was a really good fucking action movie. I can't remember the title off my head, but it was really good. Anyway, this one would have been called King Conan, Crown of Iron.
Okay, because that was going to be the evolution of Conan.
Exactly, and we're still waiting on that.
We're still waiting on that, and Schwarzenegger wants the role and the movie to be done.
I still want Basil Poledouris to make the soundtrack.
Well, the theme should be there.
Yeah. But here's another one. So the Wachowskis was also around 2001. They were commissioned by Warner Brothers to rewrite Darren Aronofsky's planned film adaptation of Frank Miller's Batman Year One.
Whoa.
So wait a minute. Let's go back. Frank Miller.
That's Inception.
Yeah.
Right there.
Frank Miller did Batman Year One. So that's a great comic book, great graphic novel. And then Darren Aronofsky
wanted to make the movie.
But Warner Brothers asked the Wachowskis to rewrite. So that was actually in the works. Listen, I shit a lot on the two last Matrix films, but I love the first one. This one of the best movies ever made in my view. And it's not just an action movie. It's so much more than that. It's action, sci-fi, and most importantly, it's, to me, an existential movie. It's really, really good. It's a really, really good existential movie. So to actually have these Wachowskis, the ones that made the first Matrix, to do a Batman Year One, god damn it would have been great.
Yeah, I think I would see that.
Yeah, I would have too. So that's basically two. I mean, there are a lot of, if you look for lists of unrealized projects by known directors, you're going to find a lot. I'm just picking on those that I felt were worth mentioning. These two were worth mentioning. And now let's jump to Steven Spielberg's unrealized projects. Okay. So as you can imagine, there are tons and tons of titles that I could have mentioned. I'm going to talk about these two, because they are very dear to me. So one of them is Night Skies. Do you know what Night Skies is, or could have been?
Something alien related?
Yeah. It was supposed to be a sequel to...
E.T.?
No. Yeah.
the third encounters of
Close Encounters of the or Third Encounters of the Close Kind, which is the kind of I like. But anyway, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, of course. Oh, sorry, you meant the movie. Yeah.
Was it going to be with Richard Dreyfuss?
No, I don't think so. So here's what happened. During shooting of the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, they actually mentioned a premise that could fit a sequel to Close Encounters, which was Night Skies. And so let me read what I researched. So after his decision not to make a sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Spielberg started the development on his next project, a science fiction horror film entitled Night Skies, whose concept was pitched by him during the development of Close Encounters. So it would have been like the unofficial sequel, because it would also have dealt with aliens coming to Earth, not a sequel in the sense that it would have picked up on the narrative of Close Encounters, but it would have been a sequel in his career to another like horror / sci-fi film about aliens invading Earth or coming to Earth. So basically that's what happened. And the film was intended to be a spiritual follow-up to Close Encounters, not a direct sequel. Lawrence Kasdan was attached to write.
Wow.
Yes. Write the screenplay. However, the film wasn't made, although the main concept was the inspiration for two Spielberg films, E.T. and Poltergeist. Even though, as it says in all of the research that I've made, as you probably know listening, Spielberg was not the director of Poltergeist. Say this again. Spielberg was not the director of Poltergeist, okay? But it was a heavy-handed presence on the film set. He
was a producer, right?
Yeah. And you can actually see his hands. Talk about heavy-handed. You know that scene in Poltergeist where the guy's face is melting and he's ripping off his own skin from his face? Those are Spielberg's hands doing it. Okay, so basically, Night Skies, the premise of Night Skies split into two. One of them was E.T., the other one was
Their title is something else. You know?
Imagine, man. Yeah. Night Skies by Steven Spielberg.
He can still do that. Come on.
I think it would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
I still like Spielberg. I mean, the guy is still one of the greatest directors alive.
Yeah, please do that.
Yeah. Spielberg, we know you're listening, Steven. Yeah. So, can I call you Steven? Of course I can. After a few weeks ago in that bar, I can call you Steven. Just make Night Skies. I'll pitch in. I don't know. You know what? I'll co-direct. It's fine. I'll make room in my schedule. I'll co-direct it with you. And another one, this is very dear to my heart. One of my favorite novels of all time by Stephen King and Peter Straub was The Talisman.
The Talisman.
Yes. And so apparently Spielberg has made several attempts to make a film adaptation of The Talisman, the 1984 novel, ever since he and Universal Pictures bought the film rights in '82. So, yeah. Whoa. In the mid-2000s, Spielberg almost adapted The Talisman into a 6-hour miniseries for TNT. And I actually watched I'm not sure, it wasn't a real pilot. It was like a teaser.
Okay.
It was like a few minutes into the pilot, so it worked as a teaser, and it looked really, really good.
What are they waiting for?
I don't know, man. It just sounds good. Spielberg directing The Talisman. It's a win-win.
Right up his alley. You know? The kid, the mother, all of that stuff.
Yeah, all of those archetypes that he likes to use, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been good. Now let's jump off to Ridley Scott's unrealized projects. And here's the one that really, really caught my eye. Obviously, there are mentions of Alien films and Blade Runner films, and there are a lot of mentions of those things. But this is the one that caught my eye because it would have been so unusual. It was a movie called, or supposed to have been entitled, The Last Werewolf.
Okay.
Can you imagine Ridley Scott directing a werewolf movie?
Back then, yes. Nowadays, I don't know.
Back then,
when I enjoyed mostly his movies.
So this is fans of Ridley Scott.
Huge fan of Ridley Scott.
Frustrated by the Prometheus
and all of that shit. Come on, please.
No, but let's focus on the good things, though.
And the good things, maybe. Whoa, maybe it would be a really good.
Can you imagine the director of Alien?
Shit. Yeah.
Directing a werewolf movie? I mean, it would have been really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, this was news in 2011. So it's not So in 2011, actually, specifically May 12th, Ridley Scott was set to produce the film adaptation of Glenn Duncan's novel The Last Werewolf through the UK division of Scott Free Productions. There has been no
Scott Free
further
Production is his
production company. So there has been no further announcements.
He should have done that instead of Prometheus.
I mean, listen, you gotta try. If you like the franchise, if you like the property, you're gonna try. If it's your property, especially. But
you don't need to fuck it up.
Yeah, that's
Showing
right. That's
things that people don't know.
Don't need to know. Don't want to know. Nobody asked for that.
Yeah.
The cult films are there. They've proven this themselves in the market. So yeah. Anyway. And as a last entry for today's show, and I might as well add again, the last show of the Bastercast for this first season, we are considering future seasons. Let us know what you think if you want it. But basically right now, what we're going to do as the Creative Bastards, we're going to focus all our creative energy and not just the audio tales, but also a lot of other things that we want to do.
Exactly.
So the next few months, and yes, these are months because we do a lot of jobs individually, we're going to focus our free time solely on creating new series, movies, and whatever we can
creative
and want
stuff,
to do.
yeah.
So this is what we're going to focus on. But if you would like to hear more Bastercast podcasts, just feel free to let us know. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can drop us an email at any time. We're also on Patreon and Subscribestar. You can also, through those platforms, you can promote and not promote. You can help our work, help us out, and know how to donate or pitch in. There are a lot of things that we can do in return, like there's a lot of tiers. There's a lot of donation tiers. Just go in there and find the best
get
way
in there and
follow us there. We're also promoting our stuff there, and if you want, you can contribute to our work. Now, the latest entry in today's show is John Carpenter's unrealized projects. As you know, and as I know, we are both fans of John Carpenter, and especially, which movie?
The Thing, for example,
or They Live.
They Live.
So he's making the. You don't see it, but Bruno was making the sunglass sign there. Yes, They Live.
They Live.
If you don't know about They Live, I cannot imagine how you're a happy person.
Yeah, you have to see.
You have to see that movie.
Yeah.
And I'm mentioning, of course, we all love the Thing, but I think this entry that was never realized, is closer to They Live than The Thing.
Okay.
Which is, in 1982, Carpenter was working on the screenplay for the 1984 film, The Philadelphia Experiment. Can you imagine a John Carpenter movie?
Hey, wow.
The Philadelphia Experiment.
But there was a film.
I know.
And
oh well,
it wasn't very good.
It wasn't very good. Yeah.
Imagine if it was John Carpenter. Hey, wow.
I can only imagine, man. This was the height of his, in my view, one of the heights of his career.
Yeah.
They Live, I think, came out in '84.
I don't recall.
Oh man, let me just go to the check fact machine, since the Englishman is not fucking anywhere to be seen. Thank you. So let me just. They Live is from 1988, actually. So yeah. Right around that time, he was working on the script for the Philadelphia Experiment film. I can only imagine what a tremendous movie it would have been.
Wow.
Why? You know, these things are so good, right? These projects, the ones that we've mentioned, are potentially so good that you think, what got in the way? What could have gotten in the way of this? But then, you know, you get The Lion King and Aladdin.
The new ones, not
the new ones, not the old ones, not the old magical, beautiful ones. No.
Yeah.
But you know, this is what's going on, and I don't know why these entries were not made. But if you're out there and if you're still interested in doing them, I hope you are. Please do them. Yeah. All of these.
All of you do that. Please.
Yeah. Or you know, you can hire us and we'll do it. Right.
Yeah. Obviously.
I mean, listen.
Yeah.
Spielberg, Carpenter, Wachowskis. Listen, if you don't have the time, which you probably don't, and it's fine, and Tim Burton, yes, we live close to one another. You're in the UK, we're in Portugal. We can just go there and meet you. Yeah. You know, just sit down, have a talk, and I guarantee you, we're going to make it justice. We're going to make your ideas justice. Just let us know. Call us. Have your people call our people. Hey, we'll do lunch. We'll do something, right? All right, guys. I think this is going to be it for now.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think so.
All right. We're going to go into our individual studios and to our mutual studio, and we're going to get our brainstorm on and do what we do best, which is creative stuff.
Yeah.
This is why we're the Creative Bastards. We hope you enjoyed this first season of the Bastercast. Let us know in the comments below. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. Send us an email. We're on Patreon and Subscribestar. You know how to find us. You know how to reach us. We'll be here. Catch you on the flip side. Hey, you bastard. Did you know we do a lot more than podcasts? What, you don't believe me? Check out these 2 videos. Still here, huh? Well, then I dare you to click that subscribe button. What are you, chicken? Do it. And hit that like button and the bell while you're at it. See you soon.